What's up, y'all? Yo, welcome to today's video, which is, let me try that again. What's up, y'all? Welcome to today's video, which is, if you've been around for the channel for a while, it's not really for you exactly, it's for you. Yeah, you, the new guy or girl, or whatever, wanting to get into FPV, and you're just wondering, what are the best tricks to learn to start out? I know I watched a bunch of videos, and a bunch of them at this point are kind of old, so
future's now, old man.
I wanted to do my own take on the top 5 best tricks to learn as a beginner. So yeah, this isn't gonna be a super comprehensive list, and I'm guarantee there's gonna be some controversy with what I think is most important.
No, sir, I don't like it.
1 through 5, is that 1 through 5? Anyways, with your FPV drone, your FPV drone. Okay. What was it? What did I say? Oh yeah. Number 1, hovering. So it might seem simple. It might seem simple, right? You got your quad and you're hovering. You know, that's like literally the most basic thing you can do. But people have said it in the past. Bot Grinder said it in the past. The best way when you're starting out, if you really want to practice, if you really want to get good at stick control and throttle control, just practice hovering. Just spend a whole battery trying to hover in place. I hope you can hear what I'm saying. Just people like racing or something on the highway. Huh. Anyways, I'm not gonna really, there's more to this video, so I want to show you me actually doing a lot of this stuff that I'm gonna talk about. But, oh, there's a little, get out of here. God, there were so many bugs licking on me and shit. Literally, just spend a couple packs just trying to hover in one spot and just keep it there. And you will be surprised. You will be surprised how much that helps you, especially if you're starting out, you really don't know many tricks or any. Maybe you can barely fly it around and land it without severing your jugular vein. Don't fly close to yourself. Don't do that. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Yeah, hovering is definitely what I recommend to all new pilots. Start off. Like I said, spend a couple packs, just hover in place for as long as you can. Whether it's a whoop or a 5-inch, whatever. Trust me, it helps you a lot. Number 2, the flick. So my quad is unplugged. Obviously, you don't want to have your quad plugged in, but I want to show you really quick. So when you're flicking stuff, you have your throttle up, you know, you're going to be flying, hovering, and then you're going to want to blip it up real quick. Like, blip it up and then down. So like, don't hold it there, just flick it, just like an ollie. Just like, imagine your throttle stick is your foot kicking down on the edge of the board. All right, I'm gonna do a couple of flicks for you, and we'll move on to the next one. All right, here we go. We're gonna do a couple basic flicks, and then nothing fancy. Just want to show you what it's like really quick. Come on, DJI. Whoa, the wind, do not blow over my camera. It's fine. All right, here we go. Do a couple flicks here. So we're hovering all nice. And then that's a flick right there. You can hear the motors idling up and then stopping. That's a flick. Try it again. See, really simple. This is a great way to practice. You don't gotta do anything crazy, just flick, off. And then eventually you can do stuff like this. Flick over the tree and let the momentum carry you. That's the key, is you're letting the momentum carry all the weight for you. Pretty simple, pretty simple. Which brings me to number 3, the roll. So the reason why I suggested hover first, then flicking, because it directly ties into doing more advanced stuff like a roll. Now what I mean by a roll is this: roll right, roll left. That's my right, my left, your left, your. Anyways, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Roll forward, roll backward. Those are your basic linear movements on the right stick. Turn my radio off. All of this is going to be accomplished on the right stick, right? So you're going to roll right, roll left, roll forward. I don't have a long enough thumb. roll forward, roll back. Hopefully that translated well. This one is a little harder at first to start off, because what you're gonna do and what's gonna happen is you're basically gonna learn a little bit of muscle memory. This is kind of like, I like to compare it, the roll is kind of like the kickflip of FPV. Some people say it's the power loop. We'll get to that. We'll get to the power loop eventually. But the roll is the most basic maneuver once you start getting a little fancier. So like, but what I mean by practicing the roll, I mean doing a 360 all the way around and then catching it as level as you can. So you want to try that. Again, spend a whole pack just kind of going slow and then flicking and then rolling. So that's how you got to do it. So first you flick and then you roll. And to roll, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to jam that right stick really far to the right and then back really quick. Don't want to hold it there. I mean, you can hold it there, but what you want to do is you want to find that sweet spot where you can go boop, boop, and your quad does a perfect 360 roll or whatever, all the way around. And also, it's really important to practice in both directions. Trust me, I had to break a bad habit a couple years ago. People are always saying, right? It's true though, is you want to make sure, I think my goggles are on, whoops. You want to make sure that you're ambidextrous. You want to get comfortable doing it both ways. So make sure you do a bunch of right rolls and then practice doing a bunch of left rolls. Then do the same with front flips and back flips. Front flip and back flip is a little trickier, and it might take you a little bit longer to learn than a roll to the right or roll to the left, simply because you go blind. You're blind when you do it. So if you want to, it's always a great idea. You can go out to like a local park or something and practice all this stuff in the grass. Practice all this stuff in the grass. I should have said that at the beginning. Anyways, practice all this stuff in the grass. That way, if you fall really hard, you're just gonna land in soft grass and you're not gonna break anything. So let me show you a couple rolls and then we'll move on to the next one. Yeah, boy. All right, here we go. Let's do some rolls. Okay. All right, camera, do not blow over. Okay, here we go. We'll do some basic rolls and I'll show you. Remember, flick, then trick. Flick, then trick. All right, here we go. Do some basic rolls here. So we're gonna flick and then roll. Super easy. Flick, roll. We'll do it to the left now. Flick, roll. Flick, roll. Super easy. Just keep doing that. Flick, roll. Nothing fancy. Flick, roll. Just like that. Also, don't do what I'm doing by flying next to yourself. Sorry. Do as I say, not as I do. But yeah. And then eventually you can get into do stuff like this. You can use your roll to fly around objects. Like that. Just like that. Okay. Bring it in here. All right, so that's easy, simple. Again, start off simple. That's the easiest way. That's the easiest way. Just start off simple. All right, so you got the flick, or you got the hover, you got the flick, you got the roll, which brings me to Number 4, yaw spins. The yaw spin is when your quad spins on the yaw axis. That's yaw right there, which is your throttle. I'm just putting it in the center so it's easier to imagine. You're gonna yaw to the right, yaw to the left. And again, I don't know if his camera is it reversing it? I don't know. Anyways, all your throttle stick does is give throttle, more throttle, less throttle, and yaw. So a yaw spin is where you are keeping your quad perfectly level and you're spinning around on that that axis. I call it the yaw axis. I don't know what it actually is. Y, Z. I'm not smart. I never said I was smart. Why do you think I'm smart? Maybe I'm a little smart. Smart ass. Even though I do consider it a beginner thing you're gonna want to learn, it's still to this day my favorite thing to do. Like there's nothing more satisfying than a low yaw spin. It feels good to do. It's really useful. Again, all these tricks are combined together, allow you to do pretty much any maneuver you want in the air. So yaw to the left, yeah, right, yaw to the right. And now what a good thing you're going to want to do also as well is you're going to want to practice doing half spins, like 180, go backwards a little bit and spin back in both directions. And again, it's just like the roll where you're going to have to find that sweet spot. You're going to have to find that sweet spot where your thumbs and your rates are going to cause it to spin around 360. And it's fun to learn and difficult to master, or easy to learn, difficult to master. Like I feel like my yaws are pretty good, but even then, you still every once in a while you catch it a little weird, and you got to kind of like ease back into going straight. But a classic yaw spin is spinning around 360 and keeping that momentum. That's key. So you're keeping that momentum. Now, what's a little different with the yaw spin is you can do it both with throttle and without throttle. So you can flick your quad up in the air and yaw spin, and you can also keep on a little throttle and yaw spin, which personally is my favorite thing to do. Low to the ground. Nothing's better than a 360 yaw, all nice and smooth, in and out. So let me show you what that looks like, and we'll move on to the final. And then at the end of the video, I will show you all this together, what you can do eventually when you learn all this stuff. And it's super fun. That's why FPV is so fun. Also, yeah, I forgot what I was gonna say. Okay, we'll do some simple yaw spins so you can see what they look like in the goggles. All right, and again, nothing crazy, just simple, because you're just learning. So, yaw to the left, easy. Now, something I did forget to mention is you're gonna have to put a little bit of roll into the turn. Otherwise, you will just spin on that axis, but it's also fine. You can do that as well. So let's do a yaw to the right. Still continuing holding that momentum. That's the biggest part about it, is you're holding that momentum. You don't have to go fast, and then eventually you can flick and yaw like that. Easy. Obviously that's a little bit more advanced, and then eventually you can do stuff like this, inverted yaws. All right, but yeah, keep it simple. Like I keep saying it, and I do mean it. Just practice the simple stuff, get that muscle memory, and it will help you. I promise. I 100% promise. All right, so which brings me to number 5, the power loop. Now, this is the one I was talking about that might cause some controversy about what is the most important. Is it the flick? Is it the power loop?
No, sir, I don't like it.
I believe it's the flick.
Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Because in order to perform a really solid power loop, you're gonna have to flick in the power loop anyways. So what a power loop is. Now, it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky, and I'll do a couple of these in the goggles for you, don't worry, and I'll show you. when I'm letting the throttle on and when I'm letting the throttle off, because it is tricky. It is a little tricky, but you will get it eventually. And once you do get it, it's the greatest thing in the world. 90% of all drone tricks involve power loops of some shape or form. Basically, there's so many tricks that are just variations on power loop. Just what you're doing within that momentum that you created is the basis for a lot of really sick freestyle lines. So it's simple in theory, a little tricky in practice when you're starting off. So what a power loop is you're powering, you're looping the drone. Sorry, get it out here. You're looping the drone around like this. That is a power loop. You're not just flipping the drone back. You're not just like flipping it like this. You're doing a big loop, usually around objects. That's the best thing, like power loop a tree, you power loop everything, basically. And it is a little tricky. It is a little tricky to teach, and it's a little tricky to learn. But like I said, try all this stuff in like a grass field or something. When you are practicing power loops the first time, don't do what I did when I first started off and just immediately flew my drone into a tree. Try a big open area. That way, when you ultimately fail the first time, your quad just hits the ground and doesn't get stuck in a tree, like mine did. And yes, I did climb the tree to get it down. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna pitch back, like moving forward, and then you're gonna wanna start pitching back until you're about here, which is a little bit past 12 o'clock. If you think of a clock face, you're gonna like wanna pitch back and then about to right there. And then you're gonna wanna kill the throttle. So you're gonna wanna flick it. And then once you flick it, you'll feel yourself start to do this. Keep pitching back, but don't throttle anymore. And you'll see the ground. And then once you see the ground, you're gonna kinda wanna level yourself back out. Now, eventually, like to start off, I guarantee a bunch of you are gonna go like this. You're gonna power loop, and then you're gonna panic and go woof, like that. That's totally fine. Whatever helps you learn, that's okay. But the goal is to go smooth, one fluid motion the whole way. It took me a long time to get even decent at power loops, and to be honest, I'm still not even that great. It's hard to be consistent with them. Just takes time and practice, especially judging how much you need to get over objects. The most steezy, we'll call it, just so you know, a skateboarder, like that's steezy, yo. The most steezy power loops are the ones with the closest proximity. In my opinion, those are the coolest looking ones when you power loop an awning of a building or something, and you're just like right there, like looking at the top of the building the whole time. That's a good power loop. You're tracking the object that you are flying around the entire time. That's how you know you did a good power loop. Once you come down, you're gonna kind of wanna give it a little bit of throttle, because you're gonna be traveling really fast at the ground. And if you don't give it enough throttle, you will hit the ground. And this happens to me all the time, because I try dumb shit and I come in from outer space and I give it full throttle, but my quad just doesn't have enough juice, so it kisses the ground a little bit. That's okay, but you wanna try to not hit the ground, obviously. I'm gonna show you some power loops here. I'll show you a couple just by themselves, and then I'm gonna do some power loops around some trees to give you an idea like what that feels like. All right, here we go. I'll do some power loops. And again, I'm gonna keep it really simple. I'm gonna keep it really simple. All right. Some simple power loops. I'm gonna go over here in this field. So what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna throttle up, pitch back, and then about there, let go of the throttle. You see how I let go of the throttle there? Let's try it again. Pitch back, throttle up, throttle off. Now let's do a whole one. Whole power loop. There we go. Just like that. Let's do another one. So, I'll tell you, let's see. Throttle, 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 no throttle. Throttle, 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 throttle. Just like that. Really simple. Let's power loop this tree. Just like that. Super simple. All right. Hopefully that helps you. If you do have questions further about any of this stuff, I do have a Discord. I'd be happy to walk you through anything you saw in this video today, like anything. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 tricks you're going to want to learn starting off that every single one of those you will use the entire time. It's not some arbitrary thing. You're gonna flick, you're gonna roll. Obviously you're gonna want to hover. Hovering is just good practice anyways. You're gonna want to yaw, and you're gonna want to power loop. All those things in combination make for the foundation of being able to build whatever freestyle style, see what I did there? Freestyle style that you come up with, like do spang stuff, all crazy, that hover and throttle control, yaws and rolls. Everything is tied together with the 5 things that I told you in today's video. And I'm gonna show you what they look like all in combination with a freestyle rip. All right, hell yeah, let's go. So that's it. That's the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope if you're new, I hope you learned something. If you didn't, join. I have a Discord. Get on the Discord and I can help you out with whatever you need. I also have a Patreon and did I say Discord? If you like the video, do the subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. And to everyone else that you're already in you're the Patreon or the subs, or thanks for watching the video too, because I know this is like for like aimed at beginners, but maybe we could all use a little practice on the basics. All right, okay, bye.